So, interviewer Narendra Chandegra, date 28th of the 10th, 2019, location Ashford, Surrey. So, what is your full name?
Narendra Chandegra.
And where were you born? When and where were you
born in India, in a village called Modwara in 1961, June 26th of June 1961.
And then, so where did you go to school? Like here?
Here?
Yeah.
Here, when we came from Kenya, we went to secondary school because I was 10, started secondary school in Birmingham.
Do you remember the name of the school?
Not quite. I think it's Heathfield. What did Damo Papa say?
He showed me it.
He took you around?
Yeah, he didn't
Okay.
remember the name of the school, but I think it's changed.
Yeah, it's changed. I think it was something H.
So how many siblings do you have?
There's 4 of us. There are 3, including me.
4 including you?
3. Don't count myself.
Excluding you
then.
Yeah. So when did you migrate to Kenya?
Kenya, when I was 2, so 1963.
So, yeah. Do you remember much of Kenya?
Loads. I think my happiest life was in Kenya. Yeah.
What was your happiest memory of Kenya then?
It's just freedom. I felt free and to do what you wanted and generally be happy, not restricted by having to answer to anyone, pay bills, that sort of stuff. It was much enjoyable, much free life.
You went to school in Kenya, right?
Yeah.
What was school like in Kenya?
It was a riverbank. I remember because they're my happy. You can see. I can't remember the name in Birmingham, but I can remember the name of the school in Kenya, Riverbank.
Was it just all Indians or was it like
No,
mixed?
it was mixed. It had the curriculum was Swahili and English.
So you had all white, African and Indian?
Oh yeah, but because Africa has a tier system, more affluent blacks, Asians. But I don't think there was whites. I can't remember whites because they went to even more affluent schools, I suppose.
And what did Papa used to do there?
He was a carpenter. He used to work. He was a contractor. He was quite, what shall I say, quite well off in Kenyan terms because he used to have contracts to build the Bata shoe shops.
Okay. Was that from Papa's Papa though? So.
No, he went back. My father's father went back. I think he knew he was ill. He died at the age of 55. I don't know. Maybe he couldn't work hard. I don't know. But he went back to India.
But he's the one that brought everyone to Kenya,
he
right?
was. I think he used to work in Porbandar, Gandhi's town. And Porbandar is a port. So he must have met someone who sort of guided him to Kenya. The British needed people in Kenya. So that's how and then he took my dad, Amo Papa's dad, Kaka, and a few others. I think he didn't last very long in Nairobi. He went back.
Wait, so did Maji go to Kenya as well?
No, she went after he died. Because after he died, there was no one left in India to look after her.
Oh. So, what was like, do you remember the reason why Papa brought you over to England?
Well, he used to, in what I remember, we didn't have borders between Tanzania, Uganda and Kenya. Because the British had given back the rule And so the British used to control all of that land, the Tanzania, Uganda. While he was traveling and the independence was given, Idi Amin, the president of newly elected Uganda, started hating the Asian community, because what developed in the 60s and 70s, that the blacks were the slaves or did the menial work, the Asians were the middle class, did the office work and organizing and that sort of stuff, and obviously whites at the top. So when the Ugandans got independence, they started hating the Asians, and there were stories of him being a cannibal, loving Asian flesh, raping Indian women. So when my dad passed through there, he must have had contracts. He came home and he didn't say anything to anyone. He got the tickets and off we were to UK.
What year was that?
1971, November the 11th, 1961. No, 71. 71, 61, I was born. 1971, 11th of November. It was freezing when we landed here. Had loads of snow, and we were in this suit from a warm country, freezing cold. Didn't know where we were.
Why did Papa dress you up in suits?
Right?
Why did Papa dress you up in suits?
Obviously, we were coming to England.
You can see in the pictures you were dressed up in suits all the time.
Yeah.
But that's in Kenya though.
Yeah, so...
Where did you first live when you came to the UK?
We got picked up by Premji Bappa, my cousin, because nobody had cars in those days, and he was the only one to have a car, so he picked us up, and I think we ate at their house in Southall, and then we went to Birmingham, where my dad's brother used to live, Soji Bappa.
Was that Papa's dad's name, Soji Bappa? And did you live with him for a bit?
Yeah, in those days, you could get rented accommodation and job straight away. I think my dad started working the next day.
Yeah, he said that he worked for Land Rover or something, like a car company. And,
he got a job, and then we rented a house and we were living there. I remember there was no heating. We used to have paraffin heaters because we didn't know how to do the coal fire. So we had paraffin heaters everywhere. There was no hot water. Toilets were outside.
You had to go to the public bathroom.
It was a bit of a shock coming from a warm country to here, where it was, especially in November, it was freezing cold.
Then what?
Then I think we were registered to go to school. They assessed, because English wasn't a well-taught subject in Kenya, so we couldn't speak English. And in those days, when we went to secondary school, we had a lot of catching up to do.
Did you know
the teachers? No, it's just like picking up, like going to a foreign country and picking up English. Didn't have any help from teachers. So yeah, just picked up things as we went along. We were good at maths, so maths was okay. Science, yeah.
How long did it take you to pick up the language?
I pick up language? I can't remember, because we weren't helped a lot, so
it took a while.
We didn't have extra tuitions or anything. I never did very well in English. It was useless at English.
Yeah. What was life like with Papa when you were living in Birmingham?
He was a strict man, and the freedom and the house we were living in was quite small. There was 4 of us, plus he adopted his brother's son to come with us. So there was an extra. There was 3 rooms and 6 house. 7 of us.
What,
so
did Bar come with you?
Huh?
Did Bar come with you?
Yeah.
So it was you, Bar,
My dad.
Kaka, Faye, both of Faye's and Junti Papa.
Yeah, and me. So there's
And
7.
Yeah.
In a small.
Who did you share a room with?
With that idiot.
Junti Papa.
Yeah, we were constantly fighting. And then.
What about Kaka?
Huh?
What about Kaka?
He was young, he was a baby.
Yeah.
I was 10 and he's 10 years younger, so he was a baby. But me and, because he was adopted, and if there was any arguments, I used to get the beating.
Yeah.
So he used to beat the shit out of me.
Yeah. What were your memories as a kid like?
Right?
Listen, general in the UK, what was your memories?
Memories, I think after we came here, it was a bit sad. Because we had this constant idiot quarrelling. It's too small. That's why I like big houses like this, like
so
freedom.
It was like going from luxury to nothing.
Yeah.
Also, was Papa poor when he came here?
No, this country he had the opportunity to work, but the thing is, it takes time to get used to it. And my dad's not the most ambitious, but there's loads of opportunities, and I don't think he took his opportunities because he's always said that he can't speak English. He always used that as an excuse.
Was that different for Amma Papa's dad?
Yeah, he was ambitious. He had friends and he had a circle, and they were quite ambitious. So.
Amma Papa said that Papa used to look up to him.
Yeah.
Was that only because he was older though?
Yeah, he was the elder one, and he was a fair, honest man. He never lied, told you the truth.
So did you used to go to Amma Papa's house a lot?
Oh, he used to come and pick us up every weekend. Papa used to pick us up. Papa is my father's elder brother.
Yeah. Well, you lived quite away from where you lived at.
No, in the beginning, no. When we were renting, it was nearby. Then when we bought our house, it was a bit further, but he still made the effort to walk. In those days, buses. So he used to walk all the way to the house to come and pick us up every weekend, every Saturday. Can you imagine how good he was?
Yeah.
It's free. Doesn't matter what weather it was, winter, summer. And then us kids used to eat together, and then he used to drop us back either Saturday or Sunday. He used to take us because there was no baths in the house in those days.
No,
so Saturdays was our bath day. So we used to go to the local baths in nearby and do that.
What was school like then?
School, frightening. It was firstly language barriers, then the bullying, no help from the teachers, felt like couldn't tell anyone about your education needs or any bullying in those days, because we had a lot of West Indians in the school.
Yeah.
And those kids never, I don't say, but the majority, there was a few very clever, but the majority just wanted to hit people, steal, bully, take their money, buy cigarettes.
So would you say at that point in time it was worse for the Asians in school than it was?
Yeah, it was, because there was no help. I don't think the British government realised we needed help, but I think that's why the Asian community is so tough. They're very successful now, because I think we came with nothing.
And you grew.
And there was loads of barriers. We broke those barriers.
Well, what sort of names were they calling you? And
they wouldn't call you names, they'd just hit you. I remember I was school finished, and this guy came from, I didn't see him, and he hit me on the head, and I could see myself hitting this brick wall, but lucky I put my hand down. I think I would have been dead that day. All he wanted was 10 pence. I had 10 pence, he wanted that 10 pence. And
what race was he?
Huh?
What race was he?
No, they were all West Indians.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. It was quite frightening walking to school. In the morning it wasn't too bad, but when we were finishing school, you were scared. You just wanted to get home.
Did you
not get attacked?
Did you not go home like all together?
Huh?
Did you not go home all together?
Yeah, but you remember when we came, we only knew Asians, and Asians never fought back. So we were easy targets. So we had Asian friends. We were walking with Asians, and either you got hit or your friend got hit, or
yeah. So and teachers never did anything about it.
No, nothing. I remember West Indian girls going in the toilet smoking and setting the school alight, and they couldn't do anything. I think they expelled her so many times, but she was a right terror. Even the teachers were scared of her.
What were the white kids like at school?
I don't think there was any white kids in that school. Not many, because mainly West Indians. It's what's the area called? Moseley now. You know, we went to the wedding there.
Yeah.
I think there is not any white people there anymore.
No.
Yeah. And it started then, back in the 70s, I think. We were put in areas where they thought it beneficial to put all these, ethnic peoples into one area. And that's what happened, I think. Southall is like that. Birmingham is like that. Brixton in the old days. Southall, I mentioned Southall. Wembley.
Yeah. But isn't that because that's where the government put them?
Yeah. So Leicester is another place. They came from East Africa, and some went to Leicester, some went to Birmingham, some went to Southall, Wembley, that sort of thing.
And then, would you say society was segregated more in England?
Segregated. It was condensed in one place. So sometimes if you're lucky, you're ambitious. That's why I say my dad wasn't ambitious, didn't fight. But there were opportunities outside those communities if you just went through the barrier.
Is that why you can move to London?
Yeah, obviously you need it. I moved in 1982 or 82, where there was loads of jobs. Remember I told you Underground, I worked for the Underground.
Yeah, since you're 12.
And just catching a train, they said, do you want a job? And I've been there ever since.
Yeah.
So there was loads of opportunities. Yeah.
So London was more...
Not London, everywhere. It depends what you wanted to do. There was telecom. I had the choice of joining the telecom, British Airways, and the Underground. So I joined the Underground. That job came up first.
Did you not make friends with other kids in different races then?
Now I do. Now is different.
Not then?
Not then, no.
So did you think there was a lack of understanding of culture mostly, or did you say...
It wasn't culture, that's how we lived before. I remember a neighbour in Birmingham. He was very, very nice. He sort of picked us up from school when my mum was ill, fed us and whatever. And he enjoyed the company. But then after we bought that house, I think half the street cleared out. So they didn't leave. Only few people tolerated each other. but not many people. I don't know if it's a mental thing or but there looks like very few people who can tolerate everything.
Yeah.
And there are people who like to go back to their home. And I think after more than a whole street cleared out after we bought the house in Birmingham.
Was that the one on?
Yeah, there was only one the next door to us, but he was a very kind man, and his wife was very kind. He used to be very nice.
Did Papa mostly come here because of what was going on in Kenya, or did he see opportunities in England?
No, it wasn't anything to do with opportunities. He just came because he heard what was going on in East Africa.
Why didn't he move back to India?
Why?
Yeah.
I think if he thought if his brother wasn't here, he would have gone back to India, I think. He is not the one that looks for opportunities.
So he just followed?
I think he came here because Bappa was here. Otherwise he might have gone back to India.
Mm.
Yeah, he wasn't a thought. He didn't think anything about where he was going. He just wanted to leave Kenya with what was going on.
Did Papa did you think that Papa found it hard when he moved in?
He had, it's hard for everyone.
Mm.
But the thing is that because he had a good lifestyle and a good job, he had a return ticket to go back. So his heart was never set here. So that's why probably he's not as successful as he should have been. He had a return ticket. He had contracts for the government buildings in Nairobi.
Okay.
So he was going to go back, but his brother said, who's going to look after your family? So
isn't that why he moved to London?
No,
Eventually.
London, no. London, I moved. He didn't want to come here.
Yeah.
He didn't want to come here. I moved to London, and then they were trying to get her married off, so it was difficult for her. So then I got angry and I said, I'd have to go there every weekend if the boy came to see her. And I said, that's it. So I brought them here. My mom and Anufai. And then we bought a house, the one they live in now.
Oh, the one that Papa lives in.
Oh. And that's how he still didn't want to come because he's always been lazy, easy life. The house is paid off. Yeah, so that was it. And then eventually he did come.
How much was it to buy a house back then?
We bought that house, I don't know, when was it? Quite a long time. I paid 106,000.
My brother said that when they bought the first house in Birmingham, after they stopped renting, was about 20,000.
No, the first house my dad bought in Birmingham was, I remember, 4,000.
4,000.
And then this one in London, the first house I bought in London, Gentibappa's, was 40,000.
Okay.
44,000 to be precise. Okay. Right, and then that was a process and a half. We couldn't get the mortgage if I didn't, because my underground job was quite valued, so that's why they gave us the mortgage. You couldn't get a mortgage otherwise. We bought that house in 1980, when I joined the underground, 1984.
Okay.
And then 6 years later, or 5 years later, we bought the one that they live in now.
Yeah.
And then he got married to Tukaka, and we couldn't live together, could we? You weren't born then.
No, I wasn't born.
So I bought that house because, they kept like Janti Bappa, it's our house, it's my house. And
why do you think
what?
sort of the idea of community for like Indians sort of fell apart? Because I know community is like a big ideal for Asians.
Community falls apart when an outsider comes in, and it's because my dad didn't make it specific that it was ours. See, the first house when we bought, and they promised her that it was their house, so she came in, and I wasn't involved. That's his wife, isn't it? What's that got to do with me? And then a woman comes in, it's all mine and whatever. Then she makes a scene and Downs run away, or this has happened. So somebody has to go. Same thing with Jitukakas. It's not about, it's greed, I think. It's not community, is it?
You can see greed. You can kind of see
greed
in Kenya though.
There wasn't a greed. What? In what sense?
Because it was like Indians migrated there, but they didn't allow the opportunities to be spread evenly between.
No, but there was the blacks were never respected. To this day, I feel I haven't been back. We went back 25 years ago, because I feel so passionate about Kenya. The blacks, they never wanted the blacks to progress. The Asians, the whites, it wasn't about opportunity. It was about suppressing people.
Yeah, but isn't that a form of greed?
No, I don't think it's greed.
Why would
it's abuse.
People,
it's abuse. I don't think it's greed. How
so
can that be greed?
See why they're angry.
If you succeed more than I do,
yeah,
and I stop you from succeeding,
yeah.
So it's not greed, is it? Because you've got the potential. Yeah. So it's just what do you call discrimination, hatred, whatever.
What was Asians need to discriminate?
They were hated. You couldn't get higher than a level. The Asians couldn't break that barrier. The blacks couldn't go through that barrier. So that's how there was a tier system. That's how it felt.
Caste system in India?
Yeah, similar. Yeah.
Do you think that's was sort of translated in Kenya as well?
No, it was created
by the British.
British, yeah. Yeah, that's how we lived in India, and that's how we lived in Kenya. There was a tier system.
When India got its independence before you were born.
Yeah, not too far ahead. 1945.
No, you were born in
61. So 30 years is nothing really.
No.
Independent. So those are even after, what is it? It's almost 60 years since independence. India's still like that, isn't it? There's still the caste system. Slowly, your generation can break through the caste system, but it's still there.
Back then, it was even now, it's not a progressive society. It was progressive.
It is progressive.
In education,
yeah. Yeah, it's progressive, but the thing is that religious and the old values, where you come from, where your background, still holds India back, doesn't it?
So when you came to England, do you think the culture is sort of lost, or is it sort of brought through?
It's totally lost now.
What now?
But certain lost cultures is good, like the caste and discrimination. All that is good, but there's other bits that are not good.
Like
the togetherness in India. Everybody comes. Your doors are open. Come and go.
Yeah.
Feel safe. That's all gone. Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah. So.
Support mainly. Yeah. Go on.
Yeah. I feel like going back to family life and stuff, and it being hard and stuff. When you were growing up, did you feel like you were so being an older brother, other than Kantafe being older than you, did you feel like you had a responsibility to?
I felt my education, all that down the drain. Mum was ill. Mum was ill from very young age. I remember going to school and she was rehabilitating in a convalescent because she broke her back because diabetes and then it wouldn't heal. So I had to go and give her meals because she's vegetarian. Things like that. So I didn't have much time there. I remember catching 2 buses at that. So I didn't have time. So my education went downhill. Then on top of that, my dad, because I felt closer to my mum. I did all that running around. Because my dad, any problems at home, boom, he was a very strict, abusive, bang, straight away beat, and things like that.
What did Papa used to do? He used to hit you, didn't he?
Yeah.
Do you think that was like, because that's the way that he grew up with like Mudgy and stuff?
No, I think my granddad was a very nice man.
Your granddad was nice?
Yeah, I think Mudgy, she was cunning. She wasn't abusive. I don't think she was abusive, but she's cunning.
So it's just Papa's temper?
Yeah, I think he, for some reason, where he built up his temper and whatever, God knows. Why? Yeah. Yeah, but he's always, I think in Kenya, he took on more responsibilities than he could manage. Like, he used to run 2 households, feed them, clothe them, and his younger brother, never did. To this day, he doesn't do anything.
No.
Yeah?
That's another thing. Why didn't he adopt Garrett Kaka as well? Why did he just...
He couldn't.
Why?
I think he was refused.
What, so he could only adopt one?
They tried. Yeah, he would have bought the whole bloody tribe here. But I think the process was refused. They were going to go and try later. I think he did try. But once he was here, it's impossible.
Yeah.
And he was ill as well. I remember when he was a baby, he was quite ill. There was loads of things wrong with him. So that's another reason.
Yeah, because Papa was saying something about Papa and Papa's dad not getting along with Mum and Papa because...
Who?
Yeah, Papa's dad and Papa didn't get along with Mum and Papa because he was a different character.
They were hardworking. And the other 2 or the other 3, because these 2 were the elder, they expected, that's the Indian culture, that they would do everything. Feed, they'd be responsible for everything. And that's why these 2 got along very well, because they were quite hardworking.
So it's got no.
But what's that got to do with immigration?
No, I was just saying why bringing a lot of families were brought over, and it was saying how a lot of people were adopted in order to bring people over. I was just wondering how I get it.
It's a legal process which they didn't understand anyway. They said things and then other people guided them. Janti Bapa's thing was done very quickly, in those days. But I think there was some kind of problem with Kirit Kakas. And how my mum would have managed, God knows.
No.
Yeah. But he was told to come here. But he said, he's a bit stupid. He said he had a brilliant lifestyle in Kenya. Why would he come here? He wouldn't.
And so when you did migrate, what do you remember when you first the process? When you got on the plane and stuff?
Plane was we never sat in a plane before, and then because we were young, I remember spilling coffee and getting beat up again because he bought us suits. But the plane experience didn't. I fly everywhere now. I wasn't frightened of flying. It was good. I liked it. But came here and it was snow. It was white everywhere. It was freezing. And I think Heathrow, we had to go through health. It took forever. We had to do all the tests before we passed through immigration. And then we were picked up. We didn't know anybody. We didn't know who picked us up.
Yeah.
So things like that. Then I don't know what time or day it was. So I don't know if we ate. And then we were shipped to Birmingham, I think the same day.
Yeah, you were saying.
Yeah.
What about Surukaka? Was he like from India?
They came earlier. But they were, his father was very clever, educated, wasn't he? Yeah. So they were in a better. They lived in good part of Birmingham, Acox Green. It was really nice. Their house was big. Yeah. But his dad used to work for the buses, and his uncle used to work for the railway. They were very good jobs there.
Did they go straight from India too?
No, they went Kenya. All sort of same sort of migration, but then in Kenya in 1960s there was instability, so a lot of families went to India and then came from India to UK.
Yeah, that's what you did, right?
Yeah, no, came straight from Kenya.
So,
some went back. Yeah. Some went back to India because there was a lot of civil unrest. So Bappa did that.
Yeah.
Right? So Bappa sent them to India. He came to England and then a lot of, that's what Surukaka's dad did. They went to India and then they came to UK. But we came straight from.
Yeah. How do you all grow up with each other then if you all lived in separate areas?
It was difficult. Couldn't have any friends because Dad didn't agree.
Yeah.
The only one, Surukaka.
Yeah.
And that was about it.
Other than Amma Bappa and stuff.
Oh yeah. But Amma Bappa's 2 years older than I, so he's a different.
He's the same age as Gantafe, right?
Yeah, they're the same age.
But Gantafe got married quickly, didn't she?
Mm.
Yeah.
But he got married early as well.
Oh, to?
Huh?
To Bar.
He wasn't. Look. But it was hard. I think it was just the migration, unless your plan, if it happens without planning, then it's quite difficult, isn't it?
Do you think it was harder for you as a kid or the adults?
I don't know what my dad felt like, but I thought it was easy. He wanted his brother was here.
Did he not tell you?
I think he's had an easier life than he would have had in Kenya. He would have had to work.
Yeah.
He stopped working when he was here at 55. I stopped him working. Yeah.
So benefits, right?
Well, here you got all this, the system created. Health, education is free. In Kenya, you have to pay for all that, so you would have had to work.
Did Bappa not talk about any of this stuff with
Oh,
you?
right. If you ask him the truth, do you think you're going to get the truth out of him?
No.
Would he admit any of it?
No.
So obviously, what's the point asking him?
No, but when you were kids, didn't he talk about anything?
No, we always had to work. You guys are lucky. If
No,
I wanted a pair of shoes, he'd slap me first. So I never asked him. So we had to go and earn the money.
Yeah.
And buy our own shoes and our clothes and whatever. Kanta, he started working when she's not the cleverest. So we used to steal money off her to buy shoes and things like that.
Yes. Why do you think Amma Bappa got so close to Bappa then?
When his father died, he's taken on so much responsibilities. He wasn't like the way he is now, but he's become more cultural.
Spiritual.
not spiritual. I wouldn't say he's spiritual, but he understands. He's starting to learn the customs, how to and to work with that generation. You can see the difference. I cannot work with that generation, my dad's generation.
No.
He can. So when his father died, he fitted in well with that, and he somehow he was worse than me.
What do you mean?
His ideas, his thought. He's very ambitious. Yeah, he could have been very successful, but then his father died, and he decided to go that way. And
would you say more like right wing?
He's
Indian.
not right wing.
No,
he's
but
more
like an Indian, like
Indian way. Yeah. He's not right wing. I think he's quite liberal, apart from his views with the Muslim lot.
Yeah.
It's quite liberal.
Why is his? So what's like the general opinion? Like, do you know how Pakistanis migrated as well as Indians at the same time?
Yeah, they did.
They
did.
At a similar time, right?
Yeah, we all sort of did, because India was partitioned, Kenya was falling apart, the Commonwealth was breaking up, so it all happened sort of 1960s, 50s, 60s and 70s.
So when you were little, was there like animosity towards Muslims as well?
There wasn't, because we used to live together in Kenya. There wasn't animosity. But then after the breakup and the British and the Americans started supporting the Muslim community more than the Asian community, because there was a conflict in India, and India was ruled by the British long time ago, and still now you can feel that they are more supported than the Indian community, the Hindu community. And then there's always been hatred between the Muslims and the Hindus, always.
I didn't know that Muslims lived in Kenya as well.
Yeah, we used to, because they bought all Pakistan was part of India.
Yeah, it was like Mexico.
Yeah, so they bought all these people. They had Lahore was a big city, part of India. They took a lot of people from Lahore to Kenya, East Africa, and that sort of thing. Yeah, but there some community gets bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And they get supported more. And if you look at in this country, the mosques, the houses they've got, and the jobs, they're in parliament, police, you name it, everywhere. While the Indians or the Hindu community, they're more into the health, top doctors, lawyers, not even lawyers, but that sort of thing, accountants. So, I don't know, what is success?
So generally, you said that you preferred life over Kenya over Britain. Was like schooling, but also like with friends wise and stuff as well.
Yeah,
like
because we were out here. I don't know. My father probably because he was traveling a lot in Kenya working. We didn't see much of it.
So you got to deal with.
So you did what you wanted. But as soon as we come here, we saw him more, and it was his rules or no rules. You know, so that was quite difficult to deal with.
Was there any happy memories of Papa?
Here, me and Dad?
No, just you and Dad and Johnny?
No, not one.
Not one?
No.
So that's why you're close to Bar, right? Because Bar and
I wasn't close to my mum because my mum...
closer to your mum?
I was closer, but you could tell that I'm not... That's the way I am, really. I'm not that... I used to have that feeling, but I'm not... I'm probably close to you two than anybody else in this world.
Yeah.
So I'm not...
So didn't Bar like control the family in Kenya?
No, because she was ill when we came here. She was ill, and you felt that you couldn't get close to her anyway. So because she was ill most of the time.
Yeah.
And then when I came to London, my life got mixed up, and I had to work so hard to get where we are.
Yeah.
Didn't have time to build a relationship with them, did I?
But do you think it's in the nature of being Asian and the sort of tough process that we've been?
No, mine is different. Mine is ambition.
Yeah.
Mine is not.
So got nothing to do with it?
No, I didn't want to starve. I didn't want to be an ordinary. I wanted things. I'm different.
Yeah.
I work hard for a different reason. I'm not that I've got this house, I've got to show it to them. No, because I want to live here. I want this house. That's the way I am.
Yeah. Oh, so when you like think about like what do you identify as? Do you consider yourself as British, Indian, or like?
You can tell my feeling. I'm neither an Indian, neither British. Nothing.
Why?
I am who I am. Why?
Yeah, but then do you not feel like?
It would be. I've always thought about that question. Good. You know, when I see people, if I go to India, I'll live in India, work hard, and I'll be success there.
Yeah.
If I went to America, I'd do the same.
Yeah.
So I'm not really. My beliefs are not to lie, not to steal, not to hurt anybody. So I don't need a country for that.
Okay. So
Do I?
you never felt like when you moved here that you were more when you were a kid?
I don't feel I could make a home anywhere.
Yeah, but when you were a kid, did you feel like you were more like
British?
someone else?
No.
You were just a kid.
No, that's it. Yeah. I don't feel that I belong anywhere. If I felt that I didn't belong in this house, I'd move on. Like that house. How long did we live there?
20
It doesn't belong. Yeah. So it doesn't. If I felt this is not good enough now, I'd move on.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. So I don't have any identity. If that's what you're looking for. Maybe it's all the kicks about that I've had in my life. I don't know.
Yeah. But when you like watch a football match or something like that, do you not feel like you're more British?
I feel sports is my passion, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sports give me a lot of. That's the type of character I am. It gives me a lot of. Rather than religion or anything, sports is something. You know that I love sports.
When going to religion, did you were you never like forced into any of it, like Buddha and any of it?
Yeah, but I never. I've always refused to do. Forced into doing this or that. I've never sort of. I understand our religion, and I'd like to do some of the things, but I don't like to be forced to do things.
Yeah. What sort of detached you from
Nothing. No, there's no detachment. I don't preach my religion to you.
No.
And I don't think that you should preach your religion. That's why I don't like anything forced. Even when people say, unless I agree with them, I don't follow crowds, do I?
No.
I don't follow crowds. I do my own thing. I think Hinduism is good, but there is people. What they understand and what they do is different things.
Mm-hmm. And then in terms of racism, when do you think it significantly changed in England?
It's still there. It's probably worse now.
You think it's worse now than it was before?
Yeah, it's worse
when you're
now.
Getting beaten up.
No, you don't. Racism is not about physical abuse.
It's more mental.
It could be physical. It could be barriers. I feel racism is more apparent now than it ever was before. Right, and the racism is not just from institutes. It's from Muslims. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
There's racism everywhere, and you don't know who's going to do a bad thing to you. You cannot tell. Not just physical. It doesn't happen in physical, because physical you can prove it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we've got enough support to prove a physical abuse, but the other ways. You cannot prove it, or it takes time to prove. By that time, you've given up anyway. So racism is more apparent now to me, because you are still protected. You're a student. You're at uni. You still make. Okay. But if you have to go and deal with the world now, there's loads and loads of barriers. Yeah. Sometimes you need luck not to hit those barriers to be successful. Because if you hit those barriers, you will come across people who will keep stopping you, keep knocking you back. So, and there's abuse in families. You can see that. It's not, there's racism, isn't it?
Yeah.
Jealousy, whatever you want to call it.
Isn't it just a use of words though? Like
It could be anything. Yeah, it's not ignorance. They know what they're doing. Abuse is never ignorance.
Yeah, but do you think it's like because people have a lack of understanding?
It's support as well. If I stood by you and somebody's abusing you, do you think they would abuse you then? No. Yeah. So it's support. So maybe because I'm ambitious, I've always hit it alone, as you know. So probably I've experienced it more than they tend to stay in their community. They don't go, they don't break that barrier. They will only achieve as much as the rest of them. But I'm a bit different. I go a step further.
Yeah. But then so when you think about back then, was there like a difference between how like Hindus and like Sikhs were treated?
No. I think Sikhs have got more support than Hinduism or Hindus have created. They came 10 years before the Hindus came into this country, and they built up institutes, the temples or the gurudwaras, and their kids are more educated, but they've lost more culture than the Hindus. Yeah. So because education and stepping out of your culture, so they've lost a bit more than the Hinduism. I'm sure that Hinduism will be lost, but the one culture that doesn't lose anything is the bloody Muslims. They don't lose anything. They always gain. But they're quite successful, the Sikhs. They're very successful.
But then they came at like sort of prime point of...
No, I don't think prime point. They're hard working.
Yeah, but when they came...
They're very hard working. They came, they've used their resources, they've studied, they've made themselves better. So even if you're not so well off, you could go to the Gurudwara and they will help you. Their community is a lot stronger than the Hindu community. So while the Hindu community, because we've got little different groups everywhere, they don't like helping each other.
Yeah. There's always something that I always want to know. When you're in school, where you taught about British Empire and like
no
everything, so something that you wasn't.
Well, probably there was history, but history when I was taught, it was mainly about Egyptian. I remember the Second World War.
So
it wasn't. They didn't highlight the Commonwealth.
Was it? Do you think it's because they're like somewhat ashamed of what they did in all these countries?
I don't think they're ashamed of it. They conquered. That's life in those days. They conquered the world. They ruled it. How they ruled it was a bit shameful. Yeah.
Why do you think the Indians are so resentful towards the British Empire?
Sorry?
Why do you think the Indians are so resentful towards the British Empire?
Well, it's still apparent when I go to India a lot, and it's still apparent. You got the Anglo-Indians. Why do they call them Anglo-Indians? Did they rape the Indian women? What did they do? Then you look at the history, and you go to the castles and the palaces. There's nothing left. So where did this all go? Where's all the treasures gone? Yeah.
What was apparent in Kenya? What was apparent in Kenya?
Kenya was. It was like Kenya didn't. It hasn't got the culture that India's got. The history that India's got.
No.
So whatever's built in is built by the British. Yeah. But we had culture before the British.
Yeah.
We had. We had kings and queens. We had built wealth. We had education system. We had all this. Yeah. Wealth. But then when India was invaded, not just by British but by Mughals, yeah. So where is this wealth gone? Why is the world a place like India who's got so much intelligence and where's the infrastructure? Where's the compassion? There's no compassion. There's so much poverty and so much richness. Yeah. So where's the compassion?
Yeah.
Who's taken our compassion out of our country? And the treasures.
When you were in Kenya, were you there during the Mau Mau?
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah, it was quite frightening. Yeah. Yeah, it used to. They shoot people on the street.
Was that the police or was
No, it's local tribes. You know, the Africa is full of little tribes.
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't have a religious, like Christianity, all that. They have tribes that believe in different things. So the chief, and it's just a matter of strength. So that's how they took over. If you're the strongest, you take over.
Was it like all over the media though?
Media wasn't
newspapers?
No. You saw your face. If you heard it too late. Yeah. It depends. Media is not as strong as it is now.
So it's a word of mouth.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of things talking about how the police used to.
Well, police were corrupt.
Yeah, very corrupt.
Yeah, very corrupt.
And they used to do, after the uprising of the Mau Mau, they started doing
bad things.
Yeah.
You couldn't end up in a prison in Kenya because you won't come back alive. Yeah.
Is that when the system started falling apart?
Yeah. Well, the system hasn't fallen apart because the Kenyatta, the guy who his father was the president, the first president, his son is the president now.
Yeah.
So the corruption in Kenya is money.
Yeah.
So you've got money, you can do whatever you want.
Kenyatta had a significance over a lot of people though.
But he did bring some law and order, but it's not possible with so many different people, different views. But it was frightening. They had so much hatred, they would kill you on the spot. Not just with a gun, they'd hack you to death. Did
they force Indians to make a decision on whether they wanted to be Kenyan or be British?
Well, the British and the system, every country has a legal process to become a citizen of that country. So a lot of Indians had a choice either to become Indian, Kenyan or British because it was the Commonwealth.
Did a lot of people stay?
Uncle, it was a Kenyan citizenship. Yeah, there's loads of Indian community who don't want to come. Because when we left in the 70s, there was a vacuum. A lot of people became rich who stayed there because there was loads of businesses. That disappeared overnight, and they were taken. There's loads of super rich people in Kenya now.
Because of what happened and how you left, was that the reason why you never went back?
No, I feel it's like somewhere. Well, Janti Bapa's house, that was my house, but I got kicked out. Would I ever go back?
No.
Would I ever go back? My dad's house, I was thrown out of there. Would I go back?
No.
Yeah. So it was something I worked for. Yeah. Something I had worked, sweated for.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, I can't fight them. But that's not practical, is it? Is it practical?
No.
Then I'll be a troublemaker, wouldn't I? Yeah. So I don't go back.
Yeah.
So like Kantafa, yesterday he was here. Now they're begging, come to my house. I won't go back. There's no point, is there? That's the type of person I am.
Yeah. Would you rather Bappa move to India rather than England?
No.
You think there's more opportunities there?
No, it's not about opportunity. At that age, what do you know about opportunities? But I think he made the right choice. Yeah? However, he made his choice. It was a good choice. Whether we would have been where we are if we went to India, God knows. I don't think so.
And then, what do you remember when you used to live with Amma Papa? Well, did you live in a very small house?
Yeah, we didn't stay there long because, they had, there's 7 of them, 7 of us. So, but like I say, he got a job, my dad got a job, and rents were cheap, food was cheap. I think he was earning about £5-6 a week, and he could pay rent, buy food, and everything. And now I earn £500 a week, and I can't afford it. Yeah. So I remember 2-3 weeks, he rented a house, and we were out of there.
Yeah. I think that's everything.
That's it. Thank you.
Alright.